Right now it's time for us to have a conversation that actually will interest a lot of women and women carrying men. So yeah, it would interest everyone. We're going to be talking about nutrition for menstruation. So menstruations are actually a very natural and important part of a woman's health cycle, but it comes with a lot of discomfort, you know, bloating, fatigue, cramps, and very uncomfortable symptoms. And little did you know that sometimes what you eat before or during or even after your menstruation can actually affect your cycle. So in the studio with us today is Frederica Selwa Doku, who is a registered dietitian, and she is the CEO of Hale and Hearty Nutrition Center. And she's going to be taking us through what we need to know when it comes to what we have to eat during, before, and after our menstruation. Hi, Frederica.
Hi, Chris. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you again. It's been like a year.
It's been like a year.
Yeah, but don't worry. I've been following you on social media. I've been watching all your live
programs.
Yes, your live programs, especially
Thank
having to do with things that we eat.
Yes.
Yeah. So now, today we're going to be talking about menstruation and our diet. Now, can you talk us through how menstruation actually affects the body from the nutritional perspective?
Right, thank you. Our nutrition affects our menstrual cycle a lot, in the sense that the menstrual cycle is in phases and is controlled by hormones.
Yeah.
And nutrition is vital or key to hormonal balancing and hormone production, hormone regulation, and all that. And so the hormones that are acting on the menstrual cycle, if they are not put in place or they are not, put in a way such that they can help the system, then there's chaos. So, for example, we have different phases of the menstrual cycle. We have the menstrual phase,
right,
or the follicular phase. The follicular phase and the menstrual phase overlaps. So the menstrual phase is maybe day 1 to day 5, when you're having your menses.
Yeah.
Usually they say day 1 to 14 because the follicular phase overlaps with it.
Yeah.
Now the menstrual phase is when the bleeding starts and actually happening. At that point, your estrogens levels are high. And then also there's bleeding. Okay, your energy levels are also lower. At the same time, the body or the uterus is preparing follicles of ovaries to mature in another time. So that period is a lot on the woman. And what you eat at that moment is going to control the estrogen production, regulate it so it doesn't go overboard. Because once estrogen levels are high, you are tired or you feel fatigued, your mood swings. Sometimes some people vomit. They don't have appetite. A lot of things happen during that phase because energy is being taken out of you. Then we have the ovulation phase. That is when the follicles are now maturing or they have matured. So at that time, that is the fertile window or when the woman is fertile. At that point, you also need other hormones to work. The follicle stimulating hormones, the luteinizing hormones, they are the one preparing the ovaries to mature so that they can, if no pregnancy occurs, then they can burst again. And then, so at that moment is also crucial. What you eat there, foods like green leafies and energy production foods, onion-rich food, helps in balancing those hormones. And then the luteal phase, that is the last phase leading you into the next menstrual cycle. Also, there's progesterone dominance. And that is when people just get angry and emotional. Because then your estrogen has dropped at the time.
When my progesterone is high, my
you feel more manly and masculine.
And my leg hurts a lot.
Yes, some people have swollen feet, especially when you're in your 35 going on 40s, you experience the feet swells and painful feet and all that. So, and studies have shown that look, whatever that you put in your mouth, the foods that you eat are going to energize you, help with the mood swings, reduce the symptoms. And we are going to go into which foods they are.
Yeah.
And so you can't eat anyhow as a woman. That is for me. You can't eat anyhow as a woman, because everything that you are eating should support your hormonal balance. It should support your menstrual cycle and everything that makes you a woman.
All right. So let's talk about the phases of the menstruation. You started with which phase?
The menstrual phase or the follicular phase.
The follicular phase. And you know, like when you go on social media, it shows that during every phase, a woman behaves differently.
Yeah.
So I like what you said by during every phase, you need to know what to eat. So with the follicular phase, what is it that we should be eating?
So for the follicular phase, which overlaps with the menstrual phase, what you need more is iron-rich foods, okay? Because it helps in restoring the ions that you are shedding, the blood flow. It also helps with energizing you cognitively and your mood swings and all that. It helps with that. Also, you need complex carbohydrates. You need energy.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll be fatigued.
Because you already lost energy.
Yes.
You already losing blood. Yeah.
Yes. You're losing blood. You're losing energy as well. So you need to have complex carbohydrates. And that also helps to regulate insulin, because insulin is involved in the hormone balancing and all that. So complex carbohydrates like brown rice, like millet, like fonio, like sorghum, like kenke, you know, banku and all that. At that time, that is not the time for you to drink. Probably, I feel like taking a beverage, a sugar-sweetened beverage. Most people do not eat at that time. That is when they don't even feel like eating. But that is the time you have to eat complex carbs. So your rices, your bankus, your waches come in there to help you. But then the carbs should have fiber. That's why I'm mentioning millet, oats, corn, you know, sorghum, and all that are whole grains and then cereals. And then you also need to hydrate.
A lot.
Hydration is key, because blood is water. And then water is involved in
cleansing.
And at that time that you are shedding the blood, you are cleansing your body. So you need water to replenish and help you to cleanse. It's not only water, fruit juices, like naturally juiced fruits and vegetables, and then herbal teas. Chamomile, which will help you to relax, ginger tea, raspberry tea, spearmint tea. This is the time that you have to be sipping. Like 4 times a day, you are sipping the teas, and you are doing the soups as well. You know, peanut butter soup, which is rich in omega-3, to help with your mood swings and all that. And now, when it comes to PMS symptoms, that's during the luteal phase. How can diet actually reduce the PMS symptoms? So PMS symptoms are what really we go through. The painful periods, cramping, bloating, and all that. During that time,
I eat a lot during my PMS. Yes,
basically your luteal phase.
Yes, before my period. Like a week before, I eat a lot.
And that's where the cravings also come.
Oh, I know. So like when I start eating, I know I start eating like a thief. I know it's coming. It's coming.
So what will happen in the luteal phase starts from the follicular phase. So whatever you start eating in the follicular phase will affect your luteal phase. Okay. And there's this thing, seed cycling. Because in Ghana, we don't take much seeds. And for nuts, like we just know granules, but that is not the only nuts and seeds we should be eating. So there's seeds like flax seeds and pumpkin seeds. There's sesame seeds, there's sunflower seeds. And these 4 seeds
I don't know sunflower.
Are involved.
I know all of them.
Sunflower is common.
I eat all of them except the sunflower.
Yeah, so seed cycling is a nutrition approach, okay, that supports hormonal balancing. So you adopt it during your menstrual cycle phase, and then it helps. The first 14 days, the follicular phase and the menstrual phase, flax seeds and pumpkin seeds are the best, are good for you. Reason being that the flax seeds contain a bioactive compound called lignans, Okay, and these lignans are phytonutrients that helps with hormonal balancing.
Right.
Okay, and then pumpkin seeds is rich in zinc.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it helps. Also, it's also rich in magnesium as well. That helps you to relax and it helps with your mood swings. These seeds are also rich in omega-3 fatty acids. So it helps a lot. And then moving on to the 14th day or the 15th day to the 28th day. That is where you need the sesame seeds and then the sunflower seeds.
Oh, so we have to know that there's a time to eat everything.
Yes.
You just don't eat because you're hungry.
No, as a woman, for me as a dietitian and moving into women's health, I have come to realize the power of food, like power connection of food. So I always tell women to use food as a tool to better understand their bodies and care for themselves.
All right. So talking about tools of, better understanding your body, what should women eat during the ovulation period, especially a woman that wants to, give birth?
So during the ovulation period, what you need more is green leafies. It also has folate. Okay. And then eggs, choline. Choline in eggs also helps with ovulation. And then the seeds as well.
Right, right.
I mean, I've had people who are not ovulating, who are not having their menses. And when they start chewing the seeds, they start having their menses.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yes. And it's pain-free. Yeah. So you need that. You also, during the ovulation period, you need vitamin D. So food sources of vitamin D and B12. So lean meat, all the types of beans.
Yeah.
The bambara beans, the cowpeas, the lentils. Yeah. You need that. And then you also will need vitamin C, citrus fruits. So orange, mango, pawpaws and all that also helps.
Right.
Yeah. Now, and garden eggs.
All right. Okay, so you just mentioned garden eggs because you talked about lentils and stuff. I was about to actually, can Ghanaian or local food actually effectively help support a woman's cycle?
Yes, of course. All these foods that I've mentioned, when you're in your ovulation phase and you're eating banku and okra with green leafies or TZ and ayoyo soup.
Oh, yeah.
With fatty fish like salmons or mackerels or tilapia, you're good to go.
No. Okay.
Yeah, eating garden egg stew. I like doing garden egg stew with beans inside. You can do that with a yam.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
And then there are foods that we are not exploring, like millet, like sorghum, like fonio.
Yeah, I like fonio. Yeah. I like millet too.
So you could do, fonio salad with green leafy vegetables like spinach, lettuce as your salad.
Yeah.
You can do millet porridge with pumpkin seeds and those things in the porridge.
Yeah, even flaxseed. I actually add my flaxseed
and it's best absorbed when you powder it, like ground it into powder and add to your food.
Right. So you can add it to your smoothies, right?
Yeah, you can add it to your smoothies.
Yeah. So
green smoothies and all
now,
that.
Are there any foods that actually makes our menstrual symptoms worse?
Definitely.
Which one?
So
don't tell me sugar.
Refined sugar.
Yeah.
Okay, so not really the sugar we know per se, but every refined sugar. So if you're eating white rice, it's a refined sugar.
I feel like I don't know what you feel about this, but for me, I feel like white rice, it's an enemy sometimes. To me.
So that's why you have to switch. Explore the other ones like fonio
brown
and brown. People don't like brown, but brown is really nice when you cook it with rosemary and some coconut oil.
Yeah.
So, refined sugar, sugar sweetened beverages.
Right.
At the follicular stage, that is when people want to drink sugar sweetened beverages. It's not going to help you. Okay. And then caffeine. Yeah. So coffee, energy drinks, and even dark chocolate in excess. Dark chocolate in excess has more caffeine.
I see.
Okay, so don't take a lot of the chocolate. At that time, that's what you crave for.
But that's the most healthy chocolate.
It's the most healthy chocolate. Caffeine is good, though, but sometimes if you take it a lot, so we have a daily recommended amount of caffeine you need. That's 400 milligrams per day. That's 2 cups of coffee. So if you're a coffee lover and you take a lot of coffee during your menstrual phase, you don't need that. You don't need, especially the luteal phase. You don't need that. It will throw off balance your system.
Yeah.
And then salty processed foods. So canned foods, instant noodles, salty foods, chips. The chips lovers. It doesn't help because salt will retain water.
Oh, okay.
So there's water retention and high sodium bloating. So some women will DM me and call me, nowadays I've been bloating too much. I feel bloated. Stop taking processed foods, ultra processed foods, high sodium foods. Stop it. Right. It will not help with your menstrual cycle. I feel like if you're a woman, you don't have an excuse not to eat healthy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then fried foods, fried fatty foods, okay, trans fat, so margarines, big goods, and other fried foods that are highly fried, not helpful. And then sometimes dairy. So some women are lactose intolerant during their menstrual period. Some women are casein intolerant. So if you are that type of, during your menses, when you take milk, you feel gassing, feel bloated. Some of them are having diarrhea. You shouldn't take that during your menstrual period.
Right.
Anyway,
how can people actually reach out to you?
So on Instagram, Finest Dietitian, on Facebook, Finest Dietitian, TikTok, Finest Dietitian, X, Finest Dietitian.
Yeah.
So you can follow me, DM me, and I'll respond.
All right, guys. That's Frederica Selwa-Doku, who's a registered dietitian, and she's actually very, very responsive and very active on social media. So you should be following her. I don't know why you're not following her. You should be following her right now. She's the CEO of Hale and Hearty Nutrition Center, and she's taking us through everything we need to know about nutrition for menstruation. So now that you know, you should be eating healthy and not eating like a thief. Always.